back in the digibug. It's Wednesday. Maybe I can throw out a little wisdom, or maybe not, or some wackiness. I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming to the Kansas City meetup this past weekend. I want to thank Mr. Mosty for hosting it. The hosty with the mosty. I'm getting toasty with Mosty. Great time. Great dude. Love you, Kevin. And thank Lisa, Litecoin Lisa, for getting me back on the road when I said I was done doing it. After last year, what went on, you know, you kind of get sick of the tyranny. And that's really what it is to me. It's the tyranny. It's not one side of the spectrum, political spectrum, or the other. It's the fact that people are being told what to do by a government, by individuals in government that don't know anything about health, don't know anything. I mean, they're politicians. And in this state, for instance, the governor has mandated vaccinations for all health workers and all teachers. And so you've got, and this has got to be done, all teachers, it has to be done by the 5th of September. And this was, you know, they had like a little over a week. So you've got administrators in schools trying to figure out, well, how am I going to do this? How am I supposed to, I'm going to roll this window down while I leave this. You know, administrators are put in a difficult situation because, okay, now I have to get my entire staff has to take the prick. Okay, how do I manage all this? And, you know, I'm supposed to fire them if they haven't done that by this Sunday. I mean, what? And schools are already, and I'm a former teacher, still got my certification. I thought about, you know, maybe part-time, you know, just going back and substitute teaching. And they're always looking for substitutes. You know, it's constantly, hey, substitutes needed, substitutes needed. So they're already in a situation where there's teachers needed, and now you're putting them in a position where they have to make a life decision. They may not be sure about this whole situation yet. They may say, you know what, you know, I'm not real confident about taking that prick. And if you don't do it, though, you're going to get fired. Now, your alternative is you can take a weekly test. But how long is it going to be if this thing escalates up anymore and we have hospital beds overflowing and everybody's sick? How long is it going to be before, you know what, you're just going to have to take it? You know, in the test anyway, okay, so you get tested on a Monday, you get it on a Wednesday. So you're at school for 3 days, infecting people. Yeah, you know, so that's not effective. And you see, that'll be the argument, that'll be the excuse that says, well, we just need you to get the prick. We just need you to take it. That way, you know, because the test, you know, you could get it after we take the test, and, you know, there's just too much, there's a window of opportunity there for that bug to get you. So that's what's going to happen. You see it leading up to that. You've got indoor mask mandates in this state. Your freedom of choice is being taken away. And that's what it is. But meanwhile, you can go out and drink all you want. You can go out and smoke all you want. It's legal to, you know, purchase marijuana in this state. So you can do all these other behaviors that might not be good for you. And that's okay. But this one thing that they happen to focus on, you don't have a choice. What about all the other viruses out there that are, that can be transmitted? You know, there's so many other things that can cause problems. And yet, it's always this one. It's only this one. That's the most important thing. Why not mandate flu shots? I mean, people can die from that. They get pneumonia. Why not do that? Why is it just this? Is this one so devastating? And it's wiping out the population so quickly that we have to be this drastic in our measures. Is that the case? Or is it something else? Is it an agenda that it's all about control? See, we are in a collapse. We are in an economic collapse. And they can't take us to war. I don't think anybody would support it at this point. So they have to do something to kind of muddle through the economic disaster and call the attention away from the collapsing dollar and the collapsing empire. And so this is it. It's that faceless, unknown enemy that nobody can identify. It's the variant. You know, what if it's the prick that causes the variant? Never know. But there's no evidence. There's no science behind it. It's just political theater. So on both sides. So it really doesn't matter. All it does is whip everybody up into a frenzy and they think they have the answer. What if the prick is the problem? It's not tested, so we don't know. Maybe it's escalating this problem. You know, instead of getting whipped up into fear and instead of saying, well, I want to go to the Las Vegas Raiders football game, so, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. I'm just going to give up. If you don't believe in it. If you believe in it, fine. Do it. But if you don't believe in it and you're just doing it to get along and doing it just to get the goodies, then that's really not the right way to do things. I'm all about freedom of choice on both sides. You know, you keep hearing, my body, my choice. Okay. Cool. But don't force me to do it. Don't force him to do it. Don't force her to do it. And that's the biggest problem. And now you're going to shut down society again because of these mandates. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You think last year was bad when businesses shut down? Now they're not going to have anybody to keep them open. Because you're going to have a brain drain like you've never seen before. You're going to have people that say, I'm done. I'm done participating in this system. I am done dealing with it. I'm done. I'm not going to contribute anymore. I'm not going to volunteer my energy anymore. I am done. Do what you will, but I am done. And if enough people say that, it doesn't take that many. If enough people say that, then that vampire has nothing to feed on anymore. It's not going to work because the system will break down. Key people in key positions will not be there anymore for whatever reason. No matter how it goes, they're not going to be there anymore. If people start dropping dead because of the prick or because they didn't get the prick, doesn't matter. People are going to start dropping dead, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it's going to be. One way or the other, people are going to start dropping dead or they're going to be non-functional. So you're going to be in a situation where things don't work. You think it's hard to get parts right now for vehicles? You think it's hard to buy a vehicle right now because you can't get chips? You think the stores aren't stocked now because of, you know, people in meatpacking plants aren't working because, you know, they're sick? I mean, every little thing, every little piece of that supply chain is going to be broken. And what you have is what you have because you may not be able to get more stuff. Or stuff you need. I think people at this point are going to have to make a choice. You're going to have a hill to stand on. And you may die on that hill. Figuratively. And maybe literally. You know, you can read about struggles and fights for rights and wars in the history books. But right now, that book is being written. We are living through it. We are living through a time where people either stand up and say, enough is enough. We're not going to take it. You have no power. And we're going to prove that you have no power. Or they're just going to go along and say, you know what, I want to continue, you know, doing the fun things I used to do in the, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago. I just want that to come back. Those days are not coming back. We have had a fundamental shift. We have people who are in control who have nothing more than tyranny in their sights. That's what they want because they've lost control of the money. So they need to figure out how to scare you into doing what they need you to do. They used to be able to bribe you, you know, and, you know, give you just enough so that you could get by. There's not enough that can be given at this point because now you're messing with people's freedoms. Now you're messing with people's kids. That is not going to go well. And they can send you more stimulus money, and think that that's going to, appease you. But the thing is, it doesn't buy anything anymore. It does not help anymore. When you can't get the things that you need, and when you can find them, they're way more expensive and have way outpaced that stimulus money, then it's not working anymore. It doesn't work. It's broken. What's the way out? I keep talking about it. Get things that have value. Get things that you can control. Get things you have in your possession. Have a place where you can live, where you can be at least somewhat free. Have silver. Have cryptocurrencies. Have some cash. Have things in your hand, tangible things. You may say, well, cryptocurrency is not tangible. Well, it is, because it's backed by a network of computers that all agree. It's like its own army of computing power that's marching lockstep the same direction. There's no stopping it. There's been no stopping it. Bitcoin's been running since the beginning of 2010. Litecoin's been running since 2011, October. It's going to be 10 years straight. Has not been interrupted. That army marches on, and there's nothing stopping it. I'd rather place my bets on that army rather than the centralized army of vampires that we've been living with. Done with that. A lot of us are done with that. That's the way out. Pull the plug. Don't give them energy. Stop feeding it. Stop giving them anything at this point. If they are violating your rights as a human being, they don't deserve to lead. So don't give them power. What do they crave? What do they crave? What do they need? What do they want? What are they trying to get from you? Well, don't give it to them. Just, I'm not playing. Not participating. Well, you're going to lose your job. Well, you're going to have to fire me. And when you fire me, that knowledge goes right out the door. And they will regret that. That vampire is killing itself because that's their blood draining right out the door. Okay, I got a little bit more. Oh, and then there's not enough. And it dies. It dies overnight. It's just that simple. It just dies overnight if we all just say no. Just say no. I'm not playing the game. I believe myself. I trust myself. I believe that I am right. I know that I'm right inside. There is a knowing. We all have that knowing. We just know. At a spiritual level, we know. Because we are spiritual beings, after all. Let's not deny that. Even though we have this carnal flesh, that we're walking through life with and carrying around with us, there are times when our hair stands on the back of our heads. There are times when we get those goosebumps. And that's your spirit telling you that it's resonating with something. It's something greater. It's reconnecting to the source. Those are moments that you cannot deny. Go outside. Go potty. Put the dog down. There are things in life, and this is all transitory. This is all fleeting. Just a speck in the history of time. And here we are experiencing it because I think we've chosen to experience it. I think that we're here for a reason, and we all know we're here for a reason. We've been called to be here. We've chosen to be here at this time to fight this spiritual battle because that is what this is. Just recognize that. It'll give you peace. You'll realize that, this is a spiritual war. And there's dark forces. And you know what? We outnumber those dark forces. And we're just not going to give them power. We're just not going to give them energy. Listen to yourself. Listen to that spirit that's inside of you. It's there. Don't deny it. Go with your gut. All those things that you feel and resonate with. Don't live a life of regret. Don't just go along and live a life of quiet desperation. So at the end of your days, you say, well, I wish I would have. I wish I would have tried. I wish I would have gotten on that surfboard and just tried to get on that wave. Because if you ride it one time and you feel that energy of all the energy of the nature's forces flowing, and you just do it one time, that's a memory you'll never forget the rest of your life. because it touches something deeper. Don't be afraid to get on that board. Don't live with regret. Don't let people tell you what to do. Don't let people push you around. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for your family. Trust your instincts. Trust your gut. Trust the spirit that is inside you. You know it is. Just trust it. Trust you. So, hopefully, in the midst of all of this darkness and chaos, look at it as just a theater, because that's all it is. It's a big theater, and that movie has no power unless you choose to participate in it. It's just a role. So choose how that, as an actor in this game, choose how you want to react, and look at it that way. Look at it as just a script, and you are going to choose to be that hero that stands up for humanity. Because you're all heroic. We're all heroic. We just stand up at the right time and do what's right. That's what's heroic about us. That's heroism. Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. I do love each and every one of you, and you should love yourselves too, because you have to love yourself. We all make mistakes. Call it sin, call it whatever you want. We make mistakes. We're flawed. It's just the way it is. But we move on, and that's the wonderful thing about human beings. We can heal. We can move on. We can put the past behind us, and we can do great things. Even after we've done stupid things, we can do great things. Always. Today. In this minute. It's always another minute to do something great, to do something heroic. We just have to believe in ourselves, because we can do it. Don't get mad at these bad people. They're playing their roles. Just don't let them win. Don't give them the power to win. You've got the tools, you've got the weapons, you've got yourself. And on this physical plane, you've got the ability to disconnect from their vampire system. We've got a new form of money now. One that we can control. First time in history. That weapon. Don't doubt yourself. Love you. Hope you have a wonderful day.